Okay, I thought I'd do something new now, which is taken an unseen from an actual exam. This one is taken from the exam in 2005, and it's the story of Servius Tullius. Okay, we've got first of all the rubric, the backstory, if you will. So pause this, read through it, then look through the story itself, pause that, then we'll go through the translation together. All right, the first sentence. Tanaquil inter tumultum claudi regiam jubet, arbitros eicit. Simul, quae ad curandum vulnus necessaria sunt, tamquam spes esset, sedulo comparat. Simul, si destituat spes alia praesidia molitur. Okay, let's go through these first, I suppose, actually two sentences together. First one, there's nothing too complex in it. Tanaquil is our subject. Always try and make sure that you have looked through, I don't mean to sound patronizing here, but make sure you have looked through the rubric, the backstory. And one of the things that gives away that someone has or hasn't is if they get the genders right. So you don't want to translate Tanaquil as a he. Tanaquil, as it makes clear in the bit at the beginning, is a woman. Tanaquil, the nominative, jubet, present tense, but we're going to make it the perfect tense because it sounds better. Tanaquil ordered the regiam, the palace. The chief examiner always says, use your head first, use the dictionary second. So you need to look at regia and not translate it as the word queen, regina, not translate it as the word king, rex. Look at the word regiam, it ends with an am, therefore it will probably come from regia, which means palace. Therefore, Tanaquil ordered the palace, cloudy, present passive infinitive, to be closed, inter tumultum, amid the uproar. Eicit arbitros, she threw out the witnesses. Simul, simul, we've got the repetition of it here. I choose to translate this here as at one moment this, at the next moment that kind of translation, but there's a number that you could use. Simul, at one moment. Now I look through all these next words and I need to find my main verb, and I find that in comparat. One moment, comparat, she obtains, probably here again make it past tense, she obtained the things quae which necessaria were necessary ad curandum vulnus. Now this is literally for a wound being cured. So there's that question, is this a gerund or a gerundive? Well, it actually has to be a gerundive because it is passive. It is a wound being cured. Very difficult to actually tell which one this one is because you look at it and then you think, okay, well actually vulnus could be a fourth declension masculine now. So you actually need to know what declension it's in. If you look up vulnus, you'll see it's vulnus, vulmeris. It's actually a neuter, third declension noun. So its accusative is vulnus, and the curandum is therefore referring to it in the passive. So it is simul. Again, always work out on a difficult sentence like this what case each and every word or noun or adjective or pronoun is in and what person the different verbs are in, and before you write any of it down. So at the same time, she obtained, she busily obtained those things which were necessary for a wound to be cured. Literally, you could say she obtained the things necessary to cure the wound. Tamquam spes esset, as if there were hope, a conditional there. Simul, at the next note, si destituat spes, if hope failed her, she molitur praesidia alia, she took other, rather ominously, she took other precautions. Alia praesidia there. Molitur is a deponent verb, so even though it looks passive, we translate it actively. And the alia praesidia, praesidium, we've sometimes translated that as the word defences, but here obviously we're translating it as precautions. Alia praesidia, neuter, accusative, plural. Okay. The next sentence. Servio propere acquito cum paene ex sanguem virum ostendisset. Dextram tenens orat, ne inutam mortem soceri, ne su socrum inimicos deridere sinat. So, Servio acquito, with Servius having been summoned. We are now looking for greater fluency than that very old-fashioned, fairly awful way of translating an ablative absolute. So let's just say, having summoned Servius quickly, having immediately summoned Servius, having summoned Servius quickly, cum ostendisset, when she had shown him the paene ex sanguem, the almost lifeless body, virum, of the man, of her husband, maybe we could say, cum ostendiset, a temporal clause with the pluperfect subjunctive. Tenens, holding dextram, his right hand, orat, she begged him. I'm still translating the present tense in the perfect. She begged him, ne, not to, and I'm going to allow the sinats to govern both of our next two clauses. She begged him not. I see the word orat and I think, right, begging. Anytime I see begging or persuading or ordering, I think, or any verb of commanding, and here the begging and the persuading takes the same kind of grammatical device, which is the indirect command. So tenens, present participle, while holding his dextram, his right hand, she orat, she begged him, ne, not to sinat, allow the mortem soceri, the death soceri of his soceri, father-in-law, in ultam, unavenged. Ne, nor to allow, again the sinat, I'm using it twice, nor to allow, find the object of it, and it's going to be inimikos, nor to allow their enemies to deridere, to mock his socrum here. This is a different word to soceri, and this time, if you've looked it up properly, you will see the socrum here is a mother-in-law. So, nor to allow, sinat, subjunctive again, because it's still part of the orat, the indirect command, nor to allow their enemies to mock his mother-in-law. Tuum est inquit servi, si vires regnum, non eorum qui alienis manibus pessimum facinus fecerunt. The regnum est tuum, the kingdom is yours, servi, vocative there, Servius, she said. Si vires, if you are a man, if you'll be a man. Non eorum, not of them, not theirs. Literally not belonging to those, qui, who fecerunt, who have committed a pessimum, a most awful facinus, crime, by the alienis manibus, by the hands of others. Now that's quite difficult. Tuum est regnum servi. The kingdom is yours, Servius, if you are a man, not of them, literally not of those men who, not theirs, not of them who have committed pessimum facinus, such a terrible crime, the most awful crime, alienis, by others' hands. Ablative there, ablative instrument. Erige te deosque duces sequere, qui clarum fore hoc caput divino condam circumfuso igne portenderunt. Erige, I've used the word steel yourself, it's an imperative. Steel yourself, que, after the deos, and sequere. Sequere looks like it's an infinitive, but it's actually a deponent verb, and a deponent verb that looks like it's the infinitive is actually an imperative. Steel yourself and follow the gods, your leaders. Sequere there, an imperative as well as erige. Qui, who, portenderunt, predicted that hoc caput, that this head, fore, accusative infinitive, it's an indirect statement. They predicted that this head was fore clarum, was going to be famous. Fore is an alternative form, as we talked about in class, of futurum esse, who predicted that this head was one day going to be famous. Accusative infinitive, indirect statement following verbs of saying or thinking. Imagine they thought, they said that one day this head was going to be famous. So they said that this head would one day be famous. They predicted that this head would one day be famous with a divino circumfuso igne, with a ring of fire, circumfuso, with a divine ring of fire wrapped around it. Nunc te illa caelestis excitet flamma, nunc expergiscere. Nunc. Now, we have here a jussive subjunctive. May illa flamma, may that flame, caelestis, from the heavens, excitet, spur you on, present subjunctive there. Now, let that flame from the heavens spur, te the accusative, spur you on. Nunc expergiscere, Again, an imperative here. Now, stir yourself. And that's the end of that unseen. Have a nice weekend, everybody.